There we go. We got music. I posted on socials. Now I need to put the ad. There we go. And now we wait. Gonna be starting soon. Let's see here. "30 seconds remaining. Four, three, two, one. Hello everyone! How's everyone doing today? Today, I have a very special request from Momochi. So, what is this? This is a sprite sheet that was given to me a while ago when I did a commission to make a custom playable character for Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. These can be used in ROM hacks for the randomizer runs of this game that are available on the internet. And basically, Momochi wants to do one of these. So today, we're making Legend of Momochi. Now, I already started with the basics. There are probably some kinks I'm gonna have to solve. Norex, thank you for the sub. 15 months. Oh my god. Old. Old. I think you're the oldest subscriber. I think you're the oldest subscriber. At least in a row, you're definitely the oldest. Oh my god, thank you so much for the support. I really, really appreciate it. Goddamn. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing good. So yeah, that's our goal. If any colors look weird, it is because I have to respect this color palette here. There's only a limit of colors I can use, and I pretty much can't use this one, and this one is transparent. So, yep. We gotta make every color count in this. I feel like Larry Thorne. My only goal and function in life is to fucking kill Primer my factory. Good luck with that. Wait, what? Primer... the good old days of programmer art. I know. It is very difficult to do this with a lot of palette restrictions, especially because Momochi has some richness of details to her. But that's part of the fun. Limitation breeds creativity. Something. Oh! I just finished playing polyurethane on plastic anime titties, thank god. Thank god for plastic anime titties. Thank god. What do you think? Let's make Momochi's mouth as big as possible. There we go. Necessity is the mother of invention. Yeah, that one. That's the one. Thank you, Norix. Thank you. This one, I'm not entirely sure what's happening here, but... Now I get to the actual fun part of spraying paint that isn't actively trying to hinder my work at plastic anime titties. Nice. Okay, so I think we can do an edit on this basic head for this one. Shouldn't be too hard, I think. No, let's see. We just have to do pretty much this. Give me the power to edit two halves at once. Here we go. Okay. So now we do here. Aren't anime titties grand? I'm actually pretty happy. I've already shown you that I got some very cute, very spicy art for my birthday. Which honestly flattering. Very flattering. Ain't got nothing against that. Really appreciate it. The high arts have never been so jealous. Exactly. Is there a higher art form than anime titties? Let's be real here. Mm-hmm. Maybe if I do it like this. The reason art school's advantage anime style is because they wish they could be this powerful. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, there is a real reason, which is like art. A lot of art teachers, one thing that a lot of art teachers fail to explain to students that want to draw anime art is that usually it is best to have a grasp of the fundamentals before you go to more stylized styles such as anime art, right? Because it allows you to develop your style better, it allows you to learn and understand more about art and stuff like that. So you can use that to further your style the best way possible. Instead, a lot of them just turn their nose at anime and be like, that ain't real art. And they just lost a bunch of students because of that. I know this because this actually happened to Momochi at one point in her life. Fundamentals with start style. Yeah, man, teaching the arts is trash. Indeed. Okay. Also happen to then bait a bit more politely. Yeah, it is. It's a very common experience amongst anime artists. It is very common. It is very common. It's almost as common as the gay experience of the 90s of finding a significant other only to be dumped because they are afraid that if they keep going out to you, they are going to become gay. I heard that story several times from gay friends before. Which is like really, really what the fuck even? I wonder how common that actually is, but I always hear that. Various art teachers I had over the years would tell the artistically gifted kids that units don't like that style, even though they're very clearly prodigies. Oh no. Okay, now that sounds a little bit like jealousy at work. That sounds like a little bit of ego on the teacher's part. You know what? Not a little bit. That sounds like ego. Straight up. That sounds like ego. There we go. Look at that 3D-ness of Momochi's head. It's like, listen, kid, you are fucking god tier at this. Most adults wish they were this good, but art schools do not like the style, so... Oh, come on. That sounds almost like an excuse to teach them how to draw wrong. Am I crazy? That sounds like they're trying to teach them how to draw wrong. And honestly, I can almost believe that there would be schools who would turn them down because they aren't doing it the way the school wants it. There's actually an interesting story. It's not really related to art, but it is related to school people being very pig-headed. So there's this very prestigious university here in Brazil. In Brazil, the prestigious universities are the government-funded ones, incredibly enough. And There was this one school, this one university, that they, in their admission exam, they had in the literature block, they were asking for this very celebrated, for an interpretation of this very celebrated, they'd give the A's and everything, just, you know, just mining their confidence, you know, just undermining their confidence as much as they could. Although, I know overconfidence is as low in Insidious Kidler, but that doesn't sound very fair. I am aware of that fact. Okay, so how high should we be looking up? We should be looking up pretty high. I don't even think it was meant as that. I'm pretty sure that's the end result, though. I'm pretty sure that's the end result. But like, wow, you're good at this. Shame art school's a fucking snob. Pay. Backup paying. And they know they had to go there. You know what? Fair. Very fair, actually. I think this much is good. Ah, this is the main thing that's missing. There we go. There we go. Look at this cutie patooey. Okay, so technically, since it's raising up, we should, like, lower the leaves. Yeah, give the effect that it's sinking. There we go. Yeah, the only art school I go is the one in Art City. They're nice there. They're very nice there. One of the teachers there does art for comic books. They like work for Marvel and DC and shit. It is very neat. There we go. I think... Yeah, we can make it like this. Because it's disappearing on the back, right? It looks like a tiny hat. It's kind of funny. Anyways. What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say now. I think I forgot what it was. Oh, this is practically the same. I would have gone into physics, but I hate math, so I would have gone into music and audio engineering, which would have been even worse. You know, hating math, as it turns out, big disadvantage. There are so many fields that need it. I kinda wish when I was in school and was asking the question, oh, what is math good for? The guy would just be like, you know, there's a bunch of cool fields that actually require math to function. You're not running away from it, dude. Just get good. Math is the language of the cosmos. Yeah, well, the cosmos kid needs my ass to stay. Fair and valid. Okay, so how is my hand of momochi? Don't really need. I just need to make. So it would be holding a blanket. Although at this size, right? Would there even be a lot of variation on how I draw the hand? Not really. I'm gonna make the hand slightly smaller. So they kind of fit Momochi's smaller frame. There we go. There we go. We got the sleepy Momochi in bed. What's the difference between these two? Ah. This one is slightly tilting forward, huh? If the universe is so big, why the fuck would you fight me? Answer that one, madman. EP Princess, indeed. You know, in Brazil we have a really dumb saying. That's basically, you're big but there's not two of you. And I remember I knew someone who would joke around and say, I'm small, but there's 3 of me. Then the bullies would check and there were not in fact 3 of them, so he would get beaten up anyways. Anyways. Let me see here. I should have done this with... too late for that. We can just copy the side. Gonna do this one here. We did this one. But I am very, very glad. I'm very happy I got art for on my birthday. And I'm very happy for what Momochi gave me. I mean, I just went to school with framers kids, hockey players, kids and kids who were both at the same time. Fist parts weren't part of bullying. They were what we call it recess. Oh dear. I feel like my school was so peaceful. Or maybe it's because I'm very tall. I never gotten anything outside of mental abuse, mental abuse, I guess, would be the thing. Okay, so maybe like this. My class gave third and fourth grade teachers hard problems. That's just the start of our illustrious career. Oh god. I mean, I'm not sure if it's true, but we did have a teacher that just lost all his hair throughout his career teaching my class. He blamed us, but I'm not entirely sure we were completely responsible for that. He absolutely blamed us, though. Well, damn. Dude, teaching very, 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 very hazardous for your health kind of job. Honestly. You know how teachers are. They can be a little bit of a drama queens. Eighth grade chem teacher was sometimes functioning alcoholic, but that was pre-existing, so you can't put that on our tally. Exactly. Hey, the teacher is having a breakdown in the class. Such a drama queen, jeez. I swear, man, I had some weird-ass teachers. I had some nice ones, but I had some weird ones. Almost we just went point and laugh, point and laugh. Oh god. Like, I had a teacher who I don't think I ever seen anyone do something so stupid. Quite so stupid. One of my math teachers in front of everyone told me he wouldn't want to meet me in a dark alley. So I decided to meet him at the coffee shop instead. Goddamn. And you're actually so nice, Norix. So, what that means, it was the black van, right? Let me see. Yeah, we can take a hint from the sprite here. And we can raise the skirt a little bit. think I can maybe make the hair go a little bit upper here, make it a little bit more wild. I believe I have the freedom to do this. Remind me of that flick of a guy getting cut off and immediately brake checked in traffic by an unmarked black van and prepping to give the driver an earful. I don't think I've seen that one. I wonder if this is shoe on the nose. No, I think this is good. Let's see. Yeah, this seems like a good walking animation. Could even raise the skirt up a little bit more. Like this. This is gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see the final result. Once I am done with the walking animations, I am gonna put in... There is a website that you can use to test if everything is okay. Except the van's back doors opens, a flashbang goes off and heavily armored SWAT team hops out. Oh! So it was a SWAT stakeout? I see. I said steak! Ow. Okay. There we go. Man. Ow. I got something, by the way, I got something amazing for my birthday. Momochi gave it to me. That Yu-Gi-Oh collection that came out a while ago that has a bunch of classic Yu-Gi-Oh games from Nintendo. And among them there are a few that I never played, including one for Yu-Gi-Oh Capsule Monsters. I took the liberty of looking in it a little bit. And there's a game where Kaiba has green hair. There's a motherfucking game where Kaiba has motherfucking green hair. Because the game was based on the Season 0 anime. So Kaiba has motherfucking green hair. Because I think at the time in the manga, Kaiba also had green hair. It was like implied. Kaiba's hair was actually a mystery. As you know, black and white manga. So that is pretty awesome. There are a few Yu-Gi-Oh RPGs there. And man, I forgot how raw old Yu-Gi-Oh games were. Like, they are so freaking raw, you know? Not all of them, but like, because they practically released one Yu-Gi-Oh game a year. Some of these were somewhat undercooked. Hey Zor, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the raid. Hello, hello.
Kitsunoan is rating us with
How are you
viewers.
doing today? Let me give you a shout out. I don't have Momochi's technology. I should get Momochi technology. 6 hours of Grounded? Wait. Grounded. I know that game. I can't remember what it was about. Is it about not flying? Are you a tiny person? Ah! The one that's the movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Follow it by its big hit sequel, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Again. And Honey, I Made the Baby Really Big. I believe that was the name of the movie. I don't know if that was the actual name of the movie, but that was definitely a plot. God, that movie was so awful. That was such an awful movie. God damn, that movie was awful. I named one of my streams Honey, I Shrunk the Dragon. Nice. Not the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That movie is cool. But the Honey, I Made the Baby Big had so many weird jokes. I believe at one point they were trying to get inside the facility to try and get the baby back to its normal size, but they couldn't go in because the evil boss was evil, and I think he was trying to capture the baby that got big because he wanted to do experiments on the baby. You know, typical corpo stuff. So they try to disguise the baby by giving him like a big clothes. And the baby says something in baby gibberish. And to disguise what was happening, the guy says, "Oh, don't worry." What did he say? "Oh, he's German." Or no, I think it says he's Polish. Yeah, I think it says he's Polish. It's such a weird movie. Okay, so now I am hoping that this is the forward one. Yeah. 90s humor. I'm not even sure it's 90s or if it's 80s. I think it's 90s. Methinks it's 90s. Anyways, I'm gonna go very tired after 6 hours, just want to rest now. Unfortunately, can't get lurk points edge. Alright, Sor. Have a good one. Hello, Laika. Have a good rest. Streaming for a long time is tough. Make sure you get plenty of rest after. Rest good. Yeah, I think like this works best. Maybe no. So the way they do it... Oh, maybe if I do it like this. I am not entirely sure. I should move some too much. Oh, maybe we can move a little bit. Hold up. I don't have to be completely constrained by the original animation. I just need to figure out what it's trying to do. And here it's starting a step. So if it's starting a step, I can already bring this part here forward a little bit. Then we can raise up the skirt over here a little bit. The arm can go a little bit shorter, I think. Yeah, we can start with the arm being a little shorter here. Yeah, we could even bring this whole part of the arm over here. Yeah. I think that works. I think that works. And then over here, can bring this here and we can extrapolate on the movement. Further. And for this one, we can put the arms. Oh, you know what we can do? You know what we can do? We can move the boobs around here on this one. Yeah. Move the boobs here. I need to be careful of the positioning of the hands a little bit. For one main reason. And that reason is because sometimes the sword or the shield will sync into with the position. Right? So if I stray too much, it could be like a weird situation where Momochi throws a punch in the air and a sword appears from her feet. We don't want that. It's funny, but we don't want that. Be a little bit too surreal. You gotta try to make sure that things do fit in the game. Speaking of surreal, do you know why Sun Tzu wrote The Art of War the way he did? Because he wanted people to not actually fight. Something like that? I believe that the whole point of Sun Tzu is that it's best to not even fight at all. The word wishes. The world wishes. Ah. In that case, I do not know. I'm pretty sure he wasn't trying to give advice to businessmen 1,000 centuries later either. No, his job was basically the middleman, actually leading and orchestrating wars and battle, but still completely by the order of his noble superiors. Oh. So he had to write them as like a very polite suggestion rather than here's what you actually do, you dumb shit. That way. Royal nobility as usual, they really love huffing their own farts and don't live in the real world. Yeah, that's a recurring theme, to say the least. Remember when Kiba had booba? I don't. Hey Kaz, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? What are you talking about? I have plenty of booba here. Look. See? Lies. Flat-chested. So... is this booba? Also, I still have the Mega Man hat. Nice. It's 2D. You know what? That is fair. That is fair. Okay, I know what you really want. You want to see the sexiest version of me. Okay, here you go. There you go. Look at these jiggle physics. Look at the jiggle physics. Do not believe your lying eyes. Oop. There we go. But you got distracted. I mean, yes. So, whenever he tried to write instruction manuals, the literal don't get your entire army killed dumbass levels of basic warfare, they really were just like, ugh, Timudane, and went back to reading the Dojing. Oh god. Fraction by Buba is valid. Isn't it? I believe it's part of the human condition, honestly. So instead he wrote his manner as if he was writing philosophical poetry to his great consternation. That was for it. I see. So you're telling me in order to get the noble people to actually pay attention to what he was saying, he had to do everything in poetry? Damn. Relatable. Man, imagine... Okay. So imagine you're like an economist trying to teach your president to not explode your country. But in order to get his attention, you have to rap. I think that's the equivalent, isn't it, Norix? Or not even, let's not even go that far. Let's say you're working for a company. And in order to get your boss to understand what you guys need to do this quarter, you need to rap it to him. That's the equivalent, right? Yeah, the only way to get his boss is not to do dumb shit like cover bases, like disrupting enemy supply lines with this move, or rushing you guys in battle so they can't win as them. They had to write philosophical testing verse matter. Oh god. And I guess, yeah. You know, maybe if they used this rapping method, maybe things would have gone different with research. I'm gonna stop now. I wonder if when we're allowed to actually make jokes about that, or if it's the wound still too recent. Okay, so this already looks very cute. This already looks very cute. Adventure's point was less fighting bad and more fair fights bad. Starve your enemies and use element of surprise instead. Ah, yeah. Fair. Royalty historically treated wars like chess games and stuff like that. Ow. I think I just want to move the hair. No, I think I want to move the hair. Do I want to move the hair? Okay, let's move the hair slightly and then we move the hair more. On this one, I guess? I'll be real, it is kind of confusing. I have no idea if the sprite is meant to be back or forward. Like, this is very ambiguous. I'm gonna guess back, because the hand isn't showing as much. And that's the feature of the back sprite. Anyways, we need to make Momochi looking sideways. Get sideways looking Momochi. Ah, good old days of programmers art feel okay, man. I mean, they made... Okay, so here's the issue. Technically. I do have another ref sheet for this. Hold up, where is it? Was it this one? No, this is the original file. Where was it? I think it was this one. No, that's not the one. Well, there is another sprite art that's like another sprite sheet that's complete link, but that's not how it's processed. They have the head separated from the body, so the game can use it in different situations, I guess. A little bit confusing if you ask me, but here we are. It is how the game processes it. Okay. And hey, man, Super Nintendo level, there were already artists working on this. Atari, though? Goddamn Atari. I don't remember if you dropped it by during the birthday stream, Oryx, but I was talking about this. We were playing the original Mega Man games. The original Mega Man sprite was so good that they use it throughout all 6 games without altering anything, but 2 small dots to make an air vent for the helmet. That was introduced on the 5th game. Oh, absolutely. It's really funny because as we play the game, the sprite art for the enemies was starting to get so far ahead than the original Mega Man sprite, right? Like, it still fit, but you could kinda see it was you could kinda see the wear and tear. And the background art was just like mind-blowing. They were using some color combinations that I didn't even remember being possible in that game. It's super fun to see these old games in action. It's super fun. It was also fun to just play them again. I did worry about playing action games on the channel because it would make it would make harder to have a conversation while playing them, but turns out it's been going pretty alright. I've been enjoying it a lot. Aww. Well, on the bright side, I am gonna be uploading it soon to the YouTube channel, and I even eliminated the bathroom breaks. And I want to see if I can learn how to add chapters to YouTube. So I can separate by game properly. Bathroom breaks cooperate. No, the idea is to not put the bathroom breaks in, Momochi. Yeah, Momochi, that's not how that works. Momochi, no. No. Why would you want to watch bathroom breaks is when I'm not on stream? Are you saying the best part of my stream is when I'm away? I'll cry. And of course the response to that is laughing maniacally. Eh. The best response to anything is laughing maniacally. Depending on the goal. Depending on the goal. There we go. It's not necessarily very good at a funeral, though. You're not supposed to laugh at those. Depends on the funeral. Man, that just reminds me of the meme of the guy taking a picture on the grave. And the best response to someone else flexing their wealth is you stare. So anyways, they abbreviate hard warmest. What if they're flexing their wealth with Warhammer paintings, Warhammer figures though? Would it still work the same way? No. Then you call their paint jobs trash and tell them to tint that their paints. Savage. Let's see here. This doesn't feel like part of the hair. Interestingly enough. You know what I mean? Have you seen the Thin Your Paint meme of Space Marines painted Italian tinted paints? No, but I am afraid now. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be like one of those things where my eyes are gonna hurt when I see them, isn't it? Okay, you know what? I am gonna leave this... I'll send a group DM and you'll be the judge. Alright. Let's see, what do I want here? Maybe like this? And this? This is a little bit more in the dark than my regular work. So it's a little bit more scary but exciting. Let's see. Oh god! Wait, is that Seder as a Space Marine? That straight up looks like a bootleg. Legend has it the Primarch Falcon sets enough Child of Fryer every time you don't thin your paints. I see. Oh yeah, it is kind of like that fuck it up with the lag saver figure. I guess they didn't thin their paints either. I guess they didn't thin their paints either. So maybe... I kind of like how fucked up that figure looks, by the way, the Seder one. Not that this one. This one looks like it got its head melted or something. But the Seder one is kind of a mood, honestly. It feels dangerously relatable after a long day of work. Where you just feel like you're melting. Tether is just endearing in googly eyes kind of way. That is true. That is true. So we do like this. There we go. And finally, we add the crown. Now come to think of it. No, that's correct. That's correct. Okay. This one is shoe forward. Go. There we are. Here we go. Very nice, very nice. Okay, I think this works very well for a sideway looking momochi. So now it's in the opposite direction. So kind of like this. But this one is trying to step harder. Right? Yeah. There we go. I believe I mentioned I played ahead Rogue Trader to Space Wolf part because I wanted to see just how far you get to guy and how Space Marine he'd play in a fight. Oh, how it went! Space Marines are pretty OP-zor, right? Mama's gonna love that fucking guy? Nice. She's been loving the Battle Sister already. Although I'm still not sure if she enjoys that no friendly fire skill. I mean, within the verse, Space Marines pretty regular get one shot, but compared to a regular human, they're pretty silverback gorilla in a kindergarten. Oh yeah, that's right. The ones that are considered ultra OP are the Ultramarines. Because they're the ones who can solve every problem in the universe. The dumbest way possible, usually. Are the Ultramarines the ones that are overly pushed? That and they love the stupid text field. Wait, really? In the name of the Emperor, do your accounting! Yeah, they're the ones on all box arts and promotion materials. Ah, I see, I see, I see. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. No, I believe you. I believe you. The company will always companies will always have favorites. I believe, right? One of the reasons I think the first thing we were talking about were you were noting some similarities between between some of the clans I was talking, Cardfight Vanguard and Warhammer. Their genetic template is a guy who was genetically engineered to be a god tier account. I shall crunch all the numbers of the Empire. Beautiful. Beautiful. He took a 10k years nap after his brother, who turned to a hardy BDSM snake man, stabbed him with a magical knife. What? Wild shit. Eh. So he was happy to be stabbed because he was an accountant. Did I get that right? Damn, I guess accounting really is a terrible job. You were glad you were stabbed and all. So now what I want to do is I want to raise the... His coping mechanism was accounting. Well, that's kind of a shitty coping mechanism. My life sucks. Let me see if these balance sheets match. Oh, I can file these under... non-fungible, I see. How the hell do I file NFTs? Now his life nowadays sucks mainly because the balance sheets don't match anywhere in the goddamn... Ah, goddamn. You know, even if you're in the red, the balance sheets are supposed to match, you know. Most planets can even agree on what a fucking year is, much less on the tax filling. Oh dear. I guess you could say his job was very taxing. Eh? 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 Thank you, Mama. Thank you, momochi. And yeah, there's a whole page of him screaming at a priest at one point. Nice meltdown. You know, considering how the Imperium seems to work, I wonder if he needed to file some papers to do that, to have a meltdown. Oh. Interesting. So now we have to do the hand here. Should mean this is here. These are here. That way, that part here is here. First thing he did when he got to Earth was to structure the government to declare himself Lord Regent. So he has to file paperwork, take a shift at this point. Goddamn. Ah, bureaucracy. Gotta love it, right? So on the bright side, the difference from this to this, very minimal. And this is the very important part. I can't really change the format of the arms too much, at least as far as I know. Otherwise, it could bug out the whole sprite. At least not the part sticking out, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, his cooler brother, the Lion, had a redemption arc via cryptic dreams and visions that gained the ability to teleport by walking through a material forest. Damn. I guess it pays to be the cooler brother. And it doesn't pay to be the accountant. Man, can you imagine the family reunion? Hey there, little bro, how you doing? Still depressed. How about you? Yeah, I just gained the power to see the future. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I had a cryptic dream. I saw my animal guide. It was awesome. Then I discovered I can fly now. The family reunion is probably gonna end up in a fist fight, and that's my honest-to-God prediction. That is fair. Was the Emperor like a toxic father that kinda pitted his children against each other? and was like, only one of you is worthy of actually being my son, or something like that. Because that's usually how sibling rivalries get into the deadly stages. The Emperor was a toxic father, but nobody knows what the fuck he was doing because he is like he's playing 5D chess in the universe. With the multiverse time travel times. Yeah. It's kind of like one of those animes where the protagonist can reset. So the protagonist has to do some random bullshit in order to stop an important character from dying. Because the whole universe exploded because he was nice to this one girl and actually she needed to get run over by a car or something like that. That tier of character, right? See the entire plot of Steins Gate Zero. Yeah, I think that's how that one worked. Imagine if there was a game that was just like Undertale, but then right at the end you find out that every single one of your good choices actually causes everyone to die in the end, and then you have to be an asshole on purpose in order to make everyone survive. I don't know what kind of moral would a story like that have. I'm not even sure if there is a point to having a moral. Would be damn funny though. The most definitive lore analyst series covering just Emperor spans 5 episodes, 8 hours, and 0 concrete conclusions. Goddamn. Now that's a very mysterious character. It's kinda like the fate thing, right? No one truly knows what the hell God is thinking, so you just have to blindly trust it. Just cross your fingers and trust. It actually reminds me back, because I used to have Catholic, I used to go to Catholic school, right? The only two things I can say for sure is one, he was on hell of a rush and half-fed a lot of asses, and he was a terrible dad, probably as a result of one. Well, there was a demo apocalypse about to happen, so I guess that makes a lot of sense. He was also doing everything in his power to not be datified, and he was datified, so... Oopsie. Oopsie. That much I know about Warhammer. Mm-hmm. There we go. Every so often, I do miss playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Or some form of card game in person, you know? In all fairness, if a Knight Meter tall Jesus in golden armor who glows so brightly his natural radiance blind most people, and psychic precedence will kill lesser beings in 2 kilometers radius showed up, touched my fan, thereby transforming it into an AC. Yeah, that is pretty amazing. That is pretty amazing. And when the government is at your door trying to explain why do you have an AC turned on, you just said, Golden Jesus gave it to me. Don't call me God. Okay, God, sure thing, God. Got it, God. That's the same energy of that one guy in anime who's like, don't call me boss, and everyone replies to, yes, boss. Okay, boss. That's the exact same energy. Sure thing, boss. You're not our boss, boss. Gotcha, boss. You were saying about Catholic school? So, I remember that in Catholic school, they did a mass for us a few times, right? They would do it in like special occasions that would be like mini masses. And I remember the one main thing that would be repeated a lot during those, which was talking about the mystery of fate. Which wasn't really talking about the mystery of fate, it was just reinforcing the mystery of fate. Because it's like, okay, so after this ritual, this is now the blood of God, okay? It's not regular wine, even though it still tastes like regular wine. It just is because that's the mystery of fate, everyone. I was just reminiscing this. Due to the discussion. Of like, was he a fuck up? Don't know, gonna have to blindly believe them. Even though, such is the mystery of fate. I also remember this one very, very funny, kinda hilarious. There was when I was younger, there was a little bit of indoctrination, right? Huh, our teacher just explained the symbolism and the meaning of symbols when that came up. Yeah, no, they explained the symbolism and stuff, but also they would repeat, this is the mystery of fate. The mystery of transmogrification. Which was kind of like shut up and roll with it a little bit. It kind of amounted to shut up and roll with it, you know? And there was also, we had religion classes, right? Which weren't like Sunday school. To be fair, there is Catholicism at its core. Shut up and feel guilty. Yeah. Are you feeling guilty yet? Are you feeling guilty? I almost half expect the LGBT inclusion to be like, oh, you can be LGBT all you want as long as you feel guilty about it at the end of the day. The important part is that this guy died for your sins a long time ago, and you should feel extremely bad for it. Even though technically the whole point was for him to exude your sins so you wouldn't feel bad about it, but we want you to continue feeling bad about it. Oh god. But anyways, we had the equivalent of Sunday school that wasn't really Sunday school, which was religion lessons, quotation marks. And in these religion lessons, we even had like textbooks and stuff like that. And there is this one tiny detail in a textbook that I still remember to this day, which was like, it was a right or wrong affirmations thing, right? And there was this rather hilarious image of a lady holding a crystal ball and saying, she was like saying, Jesus knew how to control the power of the cosmos. We should learn to harness the mystical energies as well. And as well, just like he did. And there was like a big, is this true or false? Right? And obviously, as you might imagine, because like Catholicism loves mysticism, right? It was like, wrong, you shouldn't get too attached with the miracles because they're reserved for God or whatever. Yeah, it was very what the fuck. It was very what the fuck. There was also another one where it was a person pointing out some discrepancies between the Bible and what a priest was saying. And it was like, is this a correct thing to do or incorrect? And it was incorrect because you're not supposed to criticize the Bible. Shut up. So yeah, there were a bunch of things like that. There were a bunch of weird things like that. To be fair, those books weren't very good. They only tried to push those things to us while we were very, very young. And then it became philosophy class instead. Our RE class were just learning about world religion, doing moral dilemma, hypotheticals, and visiting mosques and whatnot. What the fuck you guys were doing over there? God, I wish I still had those textbooks. They were so weird. Like, I remember one year I actually had a kinda radical teacher, a teacher that was rather radically religious, right? So she was just going on and on about how we were all going to hell for not going to church. I remember she actually made me want to go to church, so I went to church a few times with my grandma. And then I got like absurdly bored by it. I don't know if it went a little bit like this, but I remember being like very bored about it and being like, hey mom, is this kind of bullshit? And my mom was like, I think so. I was like, okay, guess I'll take my chances. Wait, did the time loop reading work? I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. Did it go off? Oh, hold up. Let me check something. Maybe we're not connected to Sound Alert. You know, maybe Silk Song took down Sound Alerts too. Where is it? Okay. They changed the layout of the site. Nice. There we go. Mass start space with dilates time as well would apply this kind of mess as well. Okay, should be working. Let's see. Where is time loop?
Burn in holy fire!
Did you hear that? That one I heard. Okay, it's working again. It's working again. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, it's working again. It's because I was logged off. It logged me off. Okay. There we go! There we go! Now it's working. Working as intended. Better late than never, indeed. Much like a period. Okay, I'll stop. Let's see here. Okay, so this is basically gonna be part of the attack sprite. Goddamn. We did a lot. Doesn't feel like we're doing that much at the same time, you know? It is what it is, I guess. Life in a nutshell, indeed. It doesn't help that we keep forgetting part of our progress too. Like, every time you think, man, the year sure flew by, you're probably just ignoring a bunch of stuff that happened to you that you either forgot or decided to not remember. It's kind of like when you're feeling really sad and you're like, oh, things never work out for me. Yeah, no, they do not. You're just coming up short with situations for it. But they do sometimes. Repression is my favorite. Do I make the boopy a little bit lower to give a sideway vision? Might look a little bit too esoteric. One day, all the memories in the back of my brain grab a pitchfork and torch and go, down with the repressor! It's gonna be like the top hit Pixar movie. Whatchamacallit? Inside Out 2. Electric Boogaloo. What's her face? Meltdown at the hockey team. I kinda like that movie. I hear there are people who criticize it very heavily. But then again, I think there are people who criticize very heavily anything Disney does, regardless of they're actually being married to it or not. Like, Disney has... Currently, I think Disney has, like, negative credit when it comes to trust with anything related to their own IPs. I think they managed to burn 95% of the goodwill people had towards them. Well, hey Dark Icarus! Taking a quick moment here to say that Tex and I are so hyped to see momochi sprite for alt PPR. Ah, hey Icarus! Yeah, we're working on it. I actually have a little sample. I have a little sample. Where is it? Here's the sample. This is at least what I wanted to look in game. Yeah! Isn't it looking cute? And we can do it also thanks to the fact that you asked for that one commission, and I still have the little sprite sheet from it. Which is one of my favorite things, by the way. Whenever I make a commission that helps me teach me something new. Love doing those. It's looking wonderful. Can't wait to see Momochi to play it. Yeah, me either. I can't wait to see her play. It's gonna be so fun. Especially because Momochi never tried to do these more challenge thingies. I mean, sure, technically she beat the Zelda. Which one was it? The one in the Switch? What was the name? Breath of the Wild? She did beat Breath of the Wild naked. 95% as a goof. But that was so awesome. It was so heroic that she did that. Yeah, honestly, both her Zelda Naked Blur 2 were so stunning. Ocarina of Time True Heart Challenge when? Ooh. Hey, Momochi, do you think you can do that? Do you think you're badass enough to do that? That would be a pretty awesome thing to do if you could do it. think I can do it like this. Yeah. But yeah, now I get to spend more time with text now, and in the meantime it has this frog. Thank you for the frog, Icarus. Right when Frog Team is playing too. Nice. There's one thing I wanted to do, but I think it would drive me mad. And that is trying to play every single Final Fantasy game. But like I said, I think that would drive me mad. Because every game is very big. You are not inside the rubber room with rubber rats, you can do it. You know, that is true. That is true. I think like this is better. Like this is better. And technically, because of all the hair, we don't get to see the arm here either. I am 95% sure we're gonna have to do a revision of the sprite when we run it on the program first. But, you know, that is to be expected. Main reason being that Momochi is... Oh. We could theoretically make a panty shot here. You know? Theoretically. Or we just make the void. Oh, is this like a falling down sprite? Panty shot, panty shot. You know what, Momochi? Your funeral. Okay. See here. This music is very calming, and also it sounds like one of those ads for a condo. Have you ever seen those ads where they're trying to sell you a condo and like 3 luxurious apartments, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathtubs, 1 centipede-sized living room, your very own hidden laboratory, 1 crazy man who claims to be a doctor, I never got that, but I did get that for real as actual military hardware, so I see. Look at how sexy this panty shot is. Wow. Delewed. TOS. That's a true wiki ban. Can you imagine? There, I made it more subtle. Here we go. Beautiful. Yeah, I think I like this bit better. There we go. Huh. This actually looks pretty nice. Okay, so are we back? To the back? I think we're back to the back. Did we backtrack? Let's see. Oh. There we go. I still want these to look like it's a skirt, you know? When possible. The problem is making it look like a skirt. Ah! Hold up. Yeah, no, that actually works. That actually works. Yeah, a little bit more edge to the side. My problem is making paint look like a rock. You know, rocks are really hard to paint. in general, just draw them and figure out a way. They can be quite a pain. It's the surface. The surface is the part that's really hard, because you got the little... You know those dents? You kind of need those in order for something to look enough as a rock. And they're really annoying to do. But also, when you pull it off, it's really rewarding. When you actually pull it out and it actually looks like a rock, then it's very rewarding. Process to getting there though, pain in the butt. Indeed. Okay, so now what do we got? Pepple painting. Huh? Why are these painted black? I'm gonna have to take a look at that later if I actually have to do something here in particular. But yeah, apparently here we need to make a step forward. Yawnies. Took my doggo to a consultation with her vet. Poor thing, as usual, was pretty scared. She gets nervous so easily. The same time that I want to, I don't want to take these out because I don't know what the significance of these is and will I need it or not. She will actually get so nervous on the way that she throws up. She actually hates car rides. It's one of the rare dogs that hates car rides. Yeah. And it's kind of a chicken and egg too situation. Because we're not sure if she gets nervous on car rides because she gets sick on car rides, or if she gets sick on car rides because she gets nervous on car rides. You know what I'm saying? It's very much a chicken and the egg kind of situation. Can't really tell which is which. Personally, I do think it's Vault. She enters the car, she associates feeling ill with being in the car. She also associates going to the doctor while being in the car, and then she starts getting upset about it. But I did discover that if I'm able to calm her down, she won't throw up on the way. So that is good. Na, 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 na. Okay, so I do have to try to make everything that's happening here more dress-like. You know what I mean? Although, come to think about it, I'm not entirely sure why I did this. Feels like it should just be... It might have actually been a mistake that I've been carrying through. Yeah, I think it was just a mistake. There you go. Yeah, there really wasn't any necessity for that part to look like that. Yep. There we go. Okay, it's already looking more like a dress. There we go. Okay, I think... Yeah. Technically, I have no idea what the sprite is for. Man, I forgot how much of the editing in this particular type of sprite is just guesswork. Like, goddamn, okay. What is this gonna do? No idea, but we're gonna have to trust the process. You know, it's kind of funny. Card games that have anime with them, they are such a trap. From like a game development perspective, they can be such a trap. Yu-Gi-Oh has, weirdly enough, Yu-Gi-Oh has a lot of issues. The anime usually isn't one of them. They just make everyone in the anime play with horrible decks, and it's like, that's it. And in fact, whenever they try to make people play with good decks in the anime had actively become worse. Because who actually wants to watch someone playing actual Yu-Gi-Oh? With slightly hacked up rules. This is why no one solved Reigns. There are so many funny things about Reigns that no one understands but me because no one saw it. It's literally the one with VTubers in it. And no one in the VTuber community knows. Yeah, okay, I think I adjusted this better. Still think it's crazy. But yeah, I remember my days playing Cardfight Vanguard. Kiba, the blind Yu-Gi-Oh sage, writing his cryptic in jokes on a K-Falls in Braille. It do feel like that, it do feel like that. God. There was this one character who had an entire arc fighting a guy with a really crappy deck, but the crappy deck was cards that were things he was afraid of. There was a card that was literally like, the dark, and he was afraid of the dark. And overcoming the shitty zombie boss monster was like an inspirational moment. God, Yu-Gi-Oh is so dorky, Jesus Christ. I should know, I like it. But so many little things, you know? But yeah, when I hear something really funny... Dark Magician, one of the poster childs of the goddamn game. Yugi's ace monster, the protagonist of the original. Sucks butts. It keeps getting support, but it keeps getting bad support. Rumor has it that Kaiba really owns Konami. Because Blue Eyes, even though technically not meta, always gets significantly better support than Dark Magician. And weirdly enough, there actually was a bias towards Blue Eyes from the creator of the manga. Originally, Blue Eyes White Dragon was supposed to be Yugi's ace monster instead of Kaiba's. I think Kaiba was supposed to have the Dark Magician. But the editor was like, you do realize that he winning all the time because the monster just has higher attack is pretty lame and doesn't really do a lot of narrative pushing. So, I don't know. Make the Yugi have the weaker monster and make him win by outwitting the opponent, you know? So the choreography is actually good. And thank God they did that, because otherwise, you know, the show would actually be significantly worse, I do believe. People always resonate better with underdog stories, I think. It's just easier to identify with an underdog than it is to identify with, like, genius who always have everything stacked to work for him. That said, with Isekai's popularity, it's like everyone relates and likes the underdog story better, but everyone's power fantasy is to be the guy who gets everything handed to them in a platter. It's a very interesting duality of man type of situation. Okay, so in this sprite, Momochi is way chubbier than in every other sprite, so I hate when that happens proportion-wise. I love to keep the proportions consistent. For the sprites, you know. Oh. There we go. I think this is fine. Yeah. There we go. Oof. Okay, so now what is happening here? So in this one, I feel like I already have a similar one to this. Can I just add it? No, not quite, not really. So go. Do, 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 do. We do like this. Okay, we have to put, like I said, we have to put the hands properly, otherwise it's gonna look really weird. I think I can pull and do it like this. So it's not too weird. This one is straight up covering the boobage. Go. There we go. I wonder what grand new adventures awaits us in September. Hopefully it will be a much better month than August was. Goddamn, August was a month in VTubing. August was too much in VTubing. I wonder what the hell these are for. So basically, it is then we do this. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Card games with anime, they run into a very common trap. Very common trap. And the trap is products related to the protagonist. They are the fact that the protagonist exists in card game anime is almost a guaranteed threat to the balance of the game. Like 100%. 100% out of 100%, it will be a threat to the balance of the card game. It's really hard when you play a card game, right? And you don't necessarily like what the protagonist is playing when the anime is there. Because the protagonist is the poster child of the anime. And and they want the anime will directly promote whatever the fuck the protagonist is playing, right? By nature, basically, new decks will be shown being played by antagonists, right? Protagonist will usually have his soul deck or whatever. Unless you make a protagonist that just changes up what deck he's playing all the time, which can be done, but surprisingly makes it more difficult to market the protagonist. A protagonist that changes their deck all the time will not have like the same signature effect. Because like Yugi is known for his Dark Magician in his deck. They try to give him Slifer as like technically this is my god card. This is what you guys are supposed to recognize me for. And everyone's like, Dark Magician, Dark Magician. I like Dark Magician. Economy's like, okay, Dark Magician. I think they're like trying to figure out a way to connect Slifer the Sky Dragon to Dark Magician in a deck. If they haven't already. They released a weird ass archetype that's like all Yugi cards but retrained to be part of the same deck. I think it was called Gold Sarcophagus or something. It revolves around a Gold Sarcophagus card. It is definitely a thing. It is definitely a thing. But anyways, the important part is Vanguard had this issue. I think every Bushiroad game that has an anime has this issue, where they soup it up the protagonist deck so much that it always ends up being the most playable thing in the card game. The two most playable decks in the any card game that Bushiroad runs that has an anime will end up being the main protagonist deck and the main antagonist of the season deck. They'll either do that or they'll overcorrect and make the antagonist deck complete garbage with like one gimmick that you can kinda write an episode about where it's like really scary, but in real life it's only really scary if you're cheating and luck pulling out of your ass completely, you know? They do that every so often with the antagonist. The protagonist, however, will always play a deck that, if it's not the best thing, will become the best thing. It's guaranteed, it's guaranteed. It's a deck that's gonna be overrepresented regardless of balance, because it's the protagonist deck, so all the anime kiddies are gonna wanna play it, so it's always gonna be overrepresented anyways. So if it's gonna be overrepresented anyways, you might as well make it OP and make the cards like really expensive so you can rake in that sweet, sweet profit. And that they did, and that they did. That is what they did. God, I remember Gear Chronicle was one of such decks. Had some nutty combos. Pretty damn expensive. Pretty damn expensive. The cards were kind of cool. Minus the main boss monster of the archetype, it was really funny. It was like, it's not even that the card looked bad, but it looked out of place compared to everything else. It didn't bother any other players, but it bothered me to no end. Like, the whole archetype was essentially steampunk. Like, future time-traveling steampunk. That was the archetype theme, right? But the main character, the main guy from the steampunk deck was like a Dragon Gundam. He didn't have any steampunk in him. He was purely Gundam. Kinda plastic looking because of the color palette they chose, right? It wasn't like ugly or anything like that. It was very aesthetic pleasing, but it just didn't look like it fitted with the rest. It was like, one of these things is not like the other, one of these things really isn't. You know? It was weird. Also, he had wheelies. The freaking dragon had wheelies. He could fly. I don't know why he needed to have wheelies, but he had wheelies. And when I say that the antagonist archetype would either be extremely overpowered or hilariously gimmicky to the point where it could only be taken seriously inside anime, I am not joking. They had a really bad track record with that. One of the first main antagonist deck was actually so bad, but so bad, that they overcorrected it with extremely OP support for years later down the line. Not even joking. It was the scary, evil Shadow Paladin, which was straight up Royal Paladins with like a dark coat of paint. And mind you, that kinda was pretty cool. It's like the whole evil clone of Protagonist kinda works. It does. At the end of the day, it is a cool trope and it works for a reason. However, it did a thing that was really funny, and honestly, I kinda like it. I kinda like that the archetype was technically bad, because the archetype's philosophy, right? Since they were the villains, their philosophy was power at any cost. So it was a unit sacrifice type deck. Basically, your own allies get killed and get offered to the evil dragon god, right? And the evil dragon god gains power and is theoretically capable of defeating opponents like that, because you sacrificed your happy units for it to eat, so it became more powerful. Thing is, if you know anything about card games, is that 95% of them you need card advantage to not die. Card advantage is important, right? Magic the Gathering card adventures is important. It's not necessarily essential if you have like very rushy, bursty decks and stuff like that. But in Cardfight Vanguard, in order to stop your opponent from dealing damage to you, you literally had to discard cards from your hand. Card advantage wasn't just important, it was a literal lifeline to the game. So, when you were sacrificing your allies, you were also sacrificing your lifeline to continue playing. So if you're gonna power up the big dragon by chewing down on your allies, its attack better goddamn connect, or you're screwed. And that's basically how the first version of the deck went. The attack didn't hit, you wasted a bunch of resources, you either had to commit your entire hand to try to make that work, and it didn't, and now you're going to die because you can't block. Way to go, genius. And it's not even really your fault because that's literally how the deck is meant to be played. So it's not like you needed a better strategy, you just need a better deck. The problem isn't how you're playing the deck, the problem is you're playing with the deck. So that was Shadow Paladin on release. So basically what happened, they overcorrected it, and they made units that were extremely happy to die. So you didn't have to worry about managing resources ever again, because when your unit dies, it would recruit new units, it would draw cards, it would retire your opponent's cards as well. Basically, anything you can think of, they tried adding to it. And also, they would just add cards that would recruit new units for you to eat later. And they would even make units that were specifically made to be eaten. They almost had like a snack keyword on them. It just didn't go that far because technically that was Tachikaze's gimmick, which was another deck that did basically the same thing but worse than Shadow Paladins. Because it was a secondary character deck, and secondary characters don't get any love. And when I say secondary character deck, I don't mean that there was a character who was like the signature guy who played with this deck. I mean that whenever a secondary character would be introduced and they didn't know what he was going to play with, they might randomly give him this deck to play and take advantage of the fact that he was playing with the deck to announce like, oh, new support for this deck, by the way. So me and all other 3 people who actually care about the deck could be excited about it, you know? It was a thing. It was a thing. I'll admit though, I was very hipster when it came to that card game. Partially because I was trying to save money while playing it. The main issue with protagonist decks isn't even that it can be a little bit tiresome, that they are overplayed and stuff like that. That's kind of an issue, but that's not the issue. The issue is that because these were protagonist decks, and theoretically protagonist goons were very good at advertising the game, they were too good at advertising the game. So it was the deck that everyone wanted to play. And the deck that everyone wants to play is gonna be the most expensive one in the secondary market. Right? They will, like, not Konami, Bushiroad would also take advantage of that. It would be like, Oh, we need a chase card for the set that has protagonist cards in it. Alright. Let's just let's jack up the rarity of this card here. That's a basic, that's vital for the main character's deck. And they did. And it worked. People bought it. If people are buying what they're selling, why would they do it differently, right? So that kind of was the thing that happened with that. Meanwhile, I went full hipster in that game because it also meant that the decks that no one was paying attention to were much cheaper, were much more affordable. So sometimes if I had a favorite deck, I would actively hope that no one important would play them, the deck, just so I could get it cheaper. Okay, so who's playing Dark Irregular? Oh, a fat guy with a vampire complex is playing? Perfect. No one is gonna give a fuck. Oh, what do you mean they changed the main representative to be this very emo-looking guy that looks kinda hot and is gonna attract a lot of Fujoshi? Oh, I'm screwed now. True story, that did happen. The second the character that had like a better character design and was more popular started playing with the deck actually got OP support and became more expensive. Not even joking. Was kind of blatant. And like I said, the villains would swing on a pendulum between being completely gimmicky and useless and just being absurdly game-shattering OP. Like, Link was a thing. Not Link, Link Joker was first introduced as one of these boss shattering type of characters, basically archetype. Basically, Link Joker was a deck that was trying to be like a stall type deck. So it wouldn't generate actual card advantage with their main strategy, but their main strategy would lock up zones. And the game had a limited amount of those for us to play our cards in. So essentially, the Link Joker strategy was to lock you out of places to play your cards and lock you out of attacks you could do in a turn. It was a very, very annoying deck to play against. But it wasn't too unfair. It was super annoying and people were complaining. But it wasn't too unfair because of the fact that technically they didn't really accrue that much card advantage. So at the end of the day, you could kind of weather the storm and then you would be fine. You would be able to, as long as you could survive the turns you were locked, you could just play the cards later and you were fine. But then one of the protagonists decided to go rogue and started playing with the deck. And they released such a comically overpowered card because one of their precious boys was playing with the evil deck and needed to be a threat. So they released a card called Chaos Breaker, which was very fitting because it caused chaos and it broke the game at the same time. And basically what that card did is it made the mechanic that was kind of annoying but was okay because it didn't generate card advantage to generate a lot of card advantage. It fixed the weakness that were there on purpose, that were put there on purpose, and essentially really annoyed the crap out of people. It was super annoying. How did it do that? Well, so basically the way Link Joker would lock your opponent up is you would have to pick... What's the difference between this and this? Virtually none? Okay. So you would pick a card on your opponent's field that wasn't the Vanguard, because the Vanguard's sacred. And you would flip it face down. Now, while it was flipped face down, your opponent could not replace it on the field, could not use it for attacks, could not do anything. Essentially, he could not touch the card. So what that did for the game is would mean one less card attacking you. But then, at the end of your turn, you would be able to flip it face up again. So originally the whole thing, Link Joker, was about starting to do the lockup and then trying to keep them locked for as much turns as they could, which usually was two. They would spend their resources trying to keep the cards that they locked. Then Chaos Breaker arrived. And what Chaos Breaker did, it had two effects, right? The effect number one was that he had the lock effect, and he had a secondary effect that whenever a card that was locked became unlocked, you could take one soul away, if I'm not mistaken, and then you could draw a card and then kill the card that was unlocked. So you would take cards away from your opponent. This is a thing that Lock wasn't supposed to do. Lock wasn't supposed to take away cards from your opponent. And it would net you cards. You would get extra cards. So you get a lot of defensive advantage because you're generating cards in hand and you use those cards to block your opponent's attack. And your opponent is not attacking you at all and is wasting cards because you're destroying their cards also. Yeah. And the worst part is, this is the really insulting part. The guy who made the deck OP because he was playing the deck immediately swaps back to his old deck and doesn't use the the boss in the anime anymore. So really, all that damage was for like worth drama for one episode. Yeah. So yeah, that's what being at the mercy of the balance being at the mercy of anime writers does to your game, essentially. And then they kind of had to power creep in a sense the archetype again for the last season because they wanted to do the final boss. And the final boss deck was honestly gimmicky, but like the lock mechanic was very good. So it almost worked, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, the final boss archetype was trying to create a perfect lock where you lock all 5 cards on your opponent's side of the field. And if you manage to reach 5 locked cards, you could activate an effect that would instantly win the game. Is that like a really fun premise for an episode? Absolutely. Is this shiz balanced? Probably not. Like, it had a bunch of restrictions. You could only do it if you were about to die. But think about it, right? If you try to push your opponent too far, it's a very defensive deck. And if you push your opponent very far and you fail, you can accidentally give him the... Well, hey, Retro Gamer! You missed. You would give him insta-kill. Ow. How are you doing? I was reminiscing about the time I used it to play. Doing alright? That's good. I'm making custom sprites for momochi. I'm doing good, I'm doing good. She's gonna try to play the Zelda randomizer. So I am making sprites. I'm making her VTuber model to put. Yeah. Long time ago, I got a commission to... Not that long time ago, I think it was... Last year? I think it was last year. I got a commission for making a Toho character for the randomizer. I remember playing Minish Cap a lot. Ooh. I never played Minish Cap, actually. My heart game for Legend of Zelda was Link's Awakening. You should try Minish Cap, it's fun. Ooh. I should. So here. This. Although my mind is burned to a crisp, I remember where everything is in Minish Cap. Ooh. That's amazing. My favorite one of the portable Zeldas is Link's Awakening. It's one of those games that the story slightly traumatized me, but like it's good trauma. It's good trauma. Hello, Mystic Fire and Echo. I never played Link's Awakening. It's really good. It's really good. It's a short game though. It's a very short game. It caught me off guard. To me, it was surprisingly emotional. How are you? I'm doing good. How are you doing today? Yeah. Wow, this sprite is looking slightly scary. Can I make it a little bit less scary? Probably not. Scary it is then. The start of the song sounded like Rickroll. Everyone says that! This is Robo's theme. This is not a Rickroll, this is Robo's theme. Just a little tired? Ah, I see, that's good, that's good. I heard Rickroll. You're not the first one to say that. Damn, missed. And then I fired, and then I missed, and then I fired again, then I missed, then I fired one more time, and then I missed. Then I fired again, and then I missed. Then I fired one more time, and then I got sleepy, and then I fell asleep. And then I ate a popsicle. And then I had a dream where I fired, and I missed, and then I fired, and I missed again. Then I woke up, then I ate breakfast, then I fired, and then I missed. Maybe like this. There we go. There we go. Loving the art? Thank you. The falling sprite is very funny. Legend of Zelda Link to the Past was so much fun. It was. Basically, these I am following the... I'm having to follow these really closely. These are gonna be for the randomizer. I'm making Momochi, she's gonna play it on her birthday. Which means I have to hurry with these because it's on the 19th, so need to try and fill this whole thing. I have like 10 days to fill this whole thing, so wish me luck. Hold up, let me use the lighter eyes so it doesn't look like she doesn't look like she has the eyes of the undead. Thank you. I think I can do it. 10 days should be plenty. I don't have any other commissions to work at the moment. If I had, that would be much more complicated, but since I don't... we are fine. There we go. I don't like the Hamsteiner though. There we go. Oh, right. Maybe I can put the tail here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. But yeah, the main reason I really like Link's Awakening is because of how emotional the story made me feel. Was one of those first damn the story got me moment, you know? And I do like when that happens. I like caring about what happens in a story. There we go. Oh yeah, she has big hair. We could add the big hair just right here. There we go. Okay, so everyone, I am sorry to say this, but we reached the end of the string. I have actually been a bit over time here. Let me just finish the tiny one though. Tiny one shouldn't take long, I don't think. Don't think the tiny one should take us that long. Oh, thank you for the follow, Pinster with glasses. Really appreciate it. Welcome, welcome.
Pinster glasses join the Ninja Leagues.
There we go. Ah, and thank you for the pet. So, I'm just gonna finish this tiny one, I swear. There we go. Oh hey V, there's a TTS. There is. For some reason though, I decided to put a lady with Korean accent. I blame the fact that I was playing Limbus Company. Thought it would be a fun meme, but I can't understand jack shit what she's saying. Yeah, she has a Korean accent. There is no particular reason why, I just picked it kind of random. Oh, it's looking cute. It's looking cute. I can hear it already going swing. Okay. So everyone, unfortunately, this really is all the time I have for today. Thank you all very much for joining me. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night. Stay awesome. And remember, when in doubt, when you think you can do it, just think like a ninja. And sure you can. So bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. See you later.